Okay, when you hear global conflict, you probably think of tanks, jets, the whole nine yards, right? But what if the next great global struggle isn't fought over territory at all? What if it's fought over something way more fundamental, like the very meaning of the words we use every single day?
Well, there's a term for this, World War 2.5. And it's not a fight for land. It's a fight to control the cognitive infrastructure. That's the system we all use to make sense of the world. The grand prize here isn't a piece of ground. It's the power to set the frame, to decide what's normal or reasonable, and in doing so, to literally shape reality itself. And this line. This really gets to the heart of the matter. It's a pretty chilling thought, isn't it? The idea that the biggest conflicts of our lifetime might not kick off with a bang, but with the quiet, almost invisible act of tweaking a definition.
All right, so if we're talking about a war of definitions, we have to start with the battlefield itself, and that's language, and how technology is completely changing the game. This really lays out the massive shift we're seeing. Before AI, language was a space for debate. Ideas had to spread kind of slowly through books and media. Power was all about persuasion. But now, with AI, language is becoming an operational infrastructure. It's instant, it's centralized. It's not just a tool for talking about the world anymore. It's becoming the system that actually generates our world. So the big question is, how does this actually work, right? How does AI pull off this magic trick, turning language from a chat tool into this powerful, reality-bending system? Let's dig into that.
Okay, so picture this pipeline. Something happens in the real world. Simple enough. Then, people describe it using language. But now, there's this crucial new step wedged in the middle, AI mediation. The AI grabs that language, it processes it, it frames it, all before you or I ever see it. So what we end up getting is this prepackaged, default concept that quietly nudges our decisions. Basically, AI is now the middleman between us and reality. And look, this isn't some sci-fi future we're talking about. It is happening incredibly fast. In 2024, the percentage of organizations using AI shot up to 78%. That's a massive leap from just 55% the year before. This isn't just another app on your phone. It's quickly becoming the default way business and everything else gets done.
And that completely changes what power even means. The goal isn't to win an argument anymore, to prove you're right. The new goal is just to become the default, to be the automatic starting point, the frame of reference that's so common, so normal, you don't even see it's there. I know this might sound a little abstract, a bit theoretical, but it's not. It's actually being put into practice right now. And to really see how, we have to look at China's very deliberate, very strategic national plan to build this exact kind of cognitive infrastructure. And let's be clear, this is not just a bunch of tech companies doing their own thing. This is a coordinated, top-down national project. It kicked off way back in 2017 with a clear target for 2030. And since then, they've just been ticking the boxes. First, nationalizing computing power, then moving to govern the language the AI speaks, and now focusing on optimizing the whole shebang. Now, this is a really key piece of the puzzle. They're treating computing power not as a product you buy, but as a national utility. Think of it just like the electrical grid. The whole idea is to build a state-controlled power grid for AI, making sure the entire system runs on an infrastructure that they designed and they control. And they are absolutely putting their money where their mouth is. We're talking massive investment here. That Eastern Data Western Computing project alone has seen over $6.1 billion in direct investment. This isn't just funding a few startups. This is building the permanent, physical backbone for a nationwide cognitive machine. So once they started building the hardware, the focus then shifted to the output, the language itself. In 2023, they started regulating public-facing AI, basically treating AI-generated language as a strategic national asset. The whole goal is standardized application, which is a way of saying they're linking language directly to national security. In effect, they're declaring the world of ideas a regulated public space, not some free-for-all marketplace. And when you look at the data, you see these two totally different playbooks. The US is crushing it in private market-driven investment, but China's playing a completely different game. They are absolutely dominating in state-driven knowledge accumulation. I mean, look at that, nearly 70% of all AI patent grants. It's a super clear contrast.
commercial innovation on one side versus systemic state control on the other.
Okay, so you have one global power systematically building a state-controlled cognitive infrastructure. What does that mean for everybody else? What does global power even look like in this new era of World War 2.5? This pretty much sums up the new reality. AI isn't just a tool we pick up and put down anymore. It's becoming this permanent intermediary, a constant layer that sits between us and the world, shaping how we see and interact with pretty much everything.
So how do these defaults get set? Well, it's not like someone issues a command. It's much subtler. It's statistical. Millions of us ask similar questions. The AI services spit out optimized, very similar answers over and over and over again. We get used to that framing. And before you know it, the AI's particular point of view just becomes normal. It becomes invisible common sense.
And this right here is the new great risk, especially for smaller nations. The threat isn't a military invasion anymore. It's this quiet structural dependency on another country's cognitive infrastructure. I mean, why would you bother to invade a country when its citizens, its businesses, its government all rely on your system to make sense of the world?
The way this happens is so subtle, but it's incredibly profound. First comes standards lock-in. It just gets too expensive and difficult to switch to another system. Then you get framework lock-in, where you start to unconsciously adopt the provider's definitions for huge concepts like stability or security. And what's the end result? A slow, quiet erosion of your cognitive sovereignty, which is just a fancy way of saying you lose the very ability to define your own reality.
So, all of this leaves us with one final, absolutely critical question. Its role as the permanent go-between for us and our world, maybe the most important question of this century is this one: who gets to decide how the world is named?